For more on the TikTok deal here in the US, our Asya Namdar spoke to Upton Saidi. He's a tech and money content creator with 3 million followers across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and Snapchat. He's also the founder of Up10 Media, an agency that created high impact and relatable videos for companies to get more customers and drive revenue.
Yeah, I think it's kind of ironic that the deal is done, but there's more questions than ever, especially for creators. We don't know what's going to happen. There's been talks of a separate app spinning off for the US only, but what does that mean? It's going to mean a lot of friction for existing users that will have to go and download a new app. I even read reports that the algorithm is going to be sort of new, so it's going to take some time to get to know you as a user. And one of the things that made TikTok so famous and popular was its algorithm, was the fact that it said it could present you content and videos that you're going to be interested in. And if you're going to have to hit a reset button on that, well, that's going to be, cause a lot of friction.
Is that the same algorithm that someone like myself sees when I'm on Instagram? I'm not on TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok, but is it the same concept as Instagram, perhaps?
Yeah, that was one thing that made TikTok so popular, right? Get over 100 million users in the US in such a short amount of time was because of the algorithm. It was this thing that many tech companies were jealous of, that it was just so effective. It basically, once you join TikTok, within maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, it starts to really get to know you and is able to feed you videos that it thinks you're gonna like. And Instagram has been able to improve their algorithm and kind of fight back against TikTok that it was worried about for some time. I mean, all platforms were. YouTube created YouTube Shorts, Facebook and Instagram created Instagram Reels, which were essentially their versions of TikTok, short form vertical videos. But the algorithm at TikTok has always been known to be, one of the strongest and one of the most effective. And a lot of tech companies were vying to be like that.
Upton, you have a huge following online. So what is your biggest concern as a content creator, as someone who's on TikTok all the time moving forward?
The biggest concern here is what it would mean to have two TikToks, right? One thing that made social media and the internet so popular is the fact that it bridges the world. If you're sitting in Wisconsin, you can see what it's like to live in Indonesia and vice versa. And that's something that YouTube has done and Facebook has done. And of course, TikTok has done in unprecedented ways. And so if we're going to see a separate app for TikTok in the United States that is insular, it's quite unfortunate, because I think one thing that makes society better is seeing other cultures, is understanding people from different backgrounds in different countries. And so as a creator, I want to ensure, my audience is split. I have a lot in the US, but I have a lot outside the US. And so I still have a lot of answers as what happens next for someone like me creating content.
So what makes someone like you go to TikTok as opposed to Instagram, X, or Facebook?
To be honest, I post on all platforms, not so much X anymore, but I find Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube all to be effective in their own right. So I'm posting daily on TikTok, I'm posting daily on Instagram. I just see it as, why pick one when you can distribute your content and your stories across multiple platforms. I see them as quite advantageous to be posting across multiple platforms, because someone like you is on Instagram but you're not on TikTok. Then you'll have others who are on TikTok but not Instagram. So why not reach both?
That is a very good point. U.S. President Donald Trump has shifted his position. I remember a time where he wanted TikTok banned, but then I think Upton, he realized the value of TikTok and its appeal for the younger generation, and then that completely changed, right?
I think his exact words were, "I'm a big star on TikTok." And that's when, the rhetoric changed a bit to, let's save TikTok. And so that's what this deal ultimately does, is it brings together a group of investors who will own the majority of of the TikTok in the United States venture, which will be a joint venture, and then ByteDance will still retain a small percentage of ownership. But yeah, I mean, the silver lining, the good news here is that the app will remain in some capacity in the U.S. I think it would have been real disappointing if it was actually banned. You have, I think millions of small businesses in the United States which rely on TikTok to promote their business, and millions of jobs that are created in influencer marketing and all sorts of things. So the silver lining here is that it's not going to not exist, but there's still a lot of questions as how it will look in the future.
Yeah, you make a lot of good points. And does this deal change the rules, perhaps opting for other foreign tech companies operating in the U.S.?
I think it does cause a little bit of confusion and a little bit of resistance. The United States has always been known to be an open market that is, open for business, right? We've never, that I can remember, seen an app that was banned or get threatened to be banned. And so I think it does raise some concerns and questions to other tech companies that, that might want to think twice before scaling or expanding, or just be a little bit cautious in terms of doing business or scaling in the U.S.